Hello, welcome everyone. It's Sam here with Tom, of course.
What up, everybody?
And today we're going to give you another game review inspired by one of our favorite book series from the 90s.
But before we start, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see.
And give it a thumbs up. All right, and for today's game, Howard,
Yeah.
put it down.
What-
Don't you dare. You remember what happened last time? We will not be able to get it
I
off.
won't.
I mean, it's not exactly easy to find a symbol of love for you. Death.
So what about today's game?
Oh yeah, right. Halloweeny, Goosebumpia, Arastina, Deathwala.
All right, let's get spooky together. This is Haunted Hangover.
Released in 1995, Shrieks and Spiders brings the world of Goosebumps to life. Featuring the series' original artwork from Tim Jacobus and a handful of the series' most memorable creatures, Shrieks and Spiders can turn any boring night into a frightfully fun evening of hair-raising laughs. But be warned, Curly lurks somewhere in the deck, and he's ready to make you scream.
All right, picture this, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's 1995.
Mm-hmm.
You're on your school bus, blasting Gangster's Paradise on your Walkman.
Came out that year, right?
It did come out
Yeah.
that year, number 1 on the charts. And then your homeboy Sam calls you on the landline and says, "Yo, I got Goosebumps, the board game. Do you want to play or what?"
Hell yeah. We're gonna play Goosebumps, the board game.
It's called Shrieks and Spiders, ladies and gentlemen. It's intended for players 7 and up, which technically is us. So I guess we do a lot of things that are intended for children. Let's go through this real quick so you get like a better idea of what we did. This intro to the game on the rule book it's first of all, it's hardly a rule book because it's intended for children, but I'll start by reading this out because it really got me in the mood. Are you in a goosebumpy mood?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you put on some eerie music, dim the lights, listen to the howling wind, and the spooky sounds coming from the basement. It's time for Goosebumps, trademark. And in just a few moments, your cozy little room will be filled with shrieks and spiders.
Pretty much, it's essentially your draw. Each player has a deck of cards.
Mm-hmm.
And if, let's say, we played with 3 people, there's only 2 spiders. You quickly, 1, 2, 3, shriek, you flip over a card, and if Curly shows up in anybody's draw, you have to yell Goosebumps and grab the spider. Mm-hmm. And the person who isn't fast enough to grab a spider loses a chip.
And you also need to say Goosebumps because if not, you're like out of the game. Curly never actually got a proper debut in a novel or in a series, so him being the mascot of Goosebumps and them kind of using him in this game in particular, giving him a purpose in life is also pretty dope.
It's a very quick game to pick up on. It's a very quick game to play, but it's very competitive. And I think one of the fun things as, adults, you can actually probably make this a fairly fun drinking game. If you don't pick it up fast enough, you gotta take a shot.
Kind of like if you think of like the King's Rules where there's like a solo cup, maybe when you lose a token, you pour it in the cup and the last player to like be out of the game or whatever has to drink it or
That's true.
There's so many different ways that you can actually play this. I had so much fun playing it because you're really like on the edge. Like at first you're just kind of like, oh, this is a kid's game. I think I got this. But I was like over the cards like this at a certain point, just like I'm waiting. Come on, I got this. It's very competitive because if you're too slow, basically you lose. When putting the game away, I found advanced rules, which we didn't follow, and also took me a while to figure out what this actually meant. And I highly doubt that a 7-year-old would be able to interpret this. And if your 7-year-old can, I'm sorry that I insulted him or her or it these days. So, if 2 or more players yell Goosebumps and grab at the same time, the player who got the first spider is okay, but the others must undo their Goosebumps yell by shrieking before they grab their spiders. If they don't, they lose a chip. So basically, once you get into the habit of saying Goosebumps, when you go and pick up the spider, Goosebumps, it just is like clockwork. Your brain is already like on a ticker and you're just used to saying it. If the other players fail to grab the spider after you've grabbed it first in the game, you have to replace the word goosebumps with like a yell. So you're no longer allowed to say goosebumps, even though you've been playing it that way for so long. You have to now go, ah.
I prefer just the simple way of playing it.
I know, well, that's what makes it so interesting. It's like, once you get used to saying goosebumps, now you have to replace it with like a scream.
The game is fairly simple, and the game itself is very quick to pick up, quick to play. You can play, a few rounds, within a few minutes, run through it, play a few rounds in like a half hour. And that to me is to its advantage and disadvantage. It's very quick, very competitive, very fun to play, but also not much more to do after a few rounds. So I would give it 3.5 pumpkins out of 5.
So with that being said, I have nothing bad to say, and it was an awesome time, and I can't wait to get some shots involved. I give it 5 pumpkins. Okay, that concludes our game review of Goosebumps, Shrieks and Spiders. Make sure to...
Guys, I can't get it off again.
Howard.
He's never gonna learn.
I don't think he ever will.
No.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Haunted Hangover. And remember, the best cure to a hangover is...
More booze. Stay spooky.
Bye.